Boy, howdy, it's episode Double Deuce. That's like pulling into a truck stop with your friend and sitting next to each other before you go home. What a deal. Holy cow. Sorry, after our first live excursion, we decided that maybe we shouldn't do that every time.
That's a shitty way to start this show.
Well, you know.
And those are such awkward moments.
That's awful.
They are. I mean,
Well,
I mean,
we go
Nate and I
back to
had one of those
Carson's
moments.
Walmart.
Yeah, I was the Walmart, the IMCA TV.
with the IMCA TV.
Carson had a...
Where are we going with this podcast?
Why did you
already?
open it that way? You were nowhere but up.
I told you I was going to do it that way. Did you guys not expect me to do it that way?
No.
Jerry, we don't listen to what you say.
Oh, shit, do I know that.
So double deuce.
Double deuce.
I'm going to eat this cheese stuff. Since
Please don't eat the chips.
Well, if you eat the chips, back away from the microphone.
Yeah.
Is this annoying?
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Well, at least you can't. The microphone doesn't have smell of sense.
As annoying as that is, it's better than listening to Jerry talk.
Exactly. Exactly. Like
Welcome
nails,
to Vinton, friend.
nails across the chalkboard.
You'll have that at these here bigger events.
Oh, look at that cheese. Speaking of a deuce.
Is that what you wanted, or was that the stuff Jerry
No,
brought you
it's
by
the stuff
mistake?
I brought, and I forgot. It wasn't the bean dip.
It's,
Is that better?
you're leaning over. Is it already taken effect, or what?
Staying
Into
the
the-
microwave.
into the
Or the
microphone.
microphone. Microwave.
I don't put that in the microwave. We'd have a problem.
Only
ever
for a
done
little
that?
only for a little bit.
My daughter, it wasn't that long ago. It was in the last year.
Like aluminum foil or a tin can?
She went to one of her little friend's house and stayed overnight, and they thought it would be funny to put her phone in the microwave.
Oh, jeez.
You're talking Kennedy, not Alyssa, right?
I'm talking Kennedy, yes, and fried it. I'm like,
So Kennedy
what?
put her phone in a microwave.
Yes, and turned it on for like 10 seconds or 12 seconds. And
How did that go over the next day?
it was not a good. It wasn't a good conversation. Virginia was pretty pissed off about it, but
I was going to say, who was more stern? You or Virginia?
Virginia,
I figured that.
yeah.
You were probably laughing a little bit about it, weren't you? At least in the
It's
back
like-
of your head.
Like, oh, yeah, I did
We've
that
all
with
done
tin
the
foil.
aluminum foil
Oh,
or
yeah.
on accident,
Or a
putting
fork.
metal in there. Like, whoa, what are the sparks? But never a phone.
I remember when it was after the races one day. There was a hamburger there, and I didn't think about it. I just threw it in the microwave, and it had the tin wrap, the little cell, and I was like, whoa. Because it went... Tasted good,
The
though,
double
so.
deuce.
Double deuce.
Fascinating, Jerry.
22.
Truly fascinating.
And last podcast was a week ago. What
Yeah.
is today's date? Today's like the 5th, October 4th.
We'll remember October 4th, because that's when the coal miner's daughter is passed.
This is the last podcast, and my wife will be 40. That last podcast, she is 40. She's going to turn 41 in 2 days.
Wow. Last time we did one, that was somebody's birthday.
I
It
could
was his
sing
last
happy
of fifth.
birthday on the podcast
You
to her.
could,
sure
then you
she'd
could,
have.
and then you know, but she wouldn't see it because she doesn't watch.
She'd
Not going to happen.
appreciate
I'll just
that.
eat the chips instead.
Did you know a month ago we were in Boone for the
It
prelude?
was a month ago. We was at the
Yesterday I
trailer.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Time flies.
It does.
Can you hear me
When you're
chewing
having
still?
fun.
Even when you're not having fun. What?
Oh,
Speaking
you
of
shaved.
Supernationals.
Hey, what happened? You shaved. You're a little clean today.
No
Did you-
kidding. Where'd your porno
little bit.
mustache
Yeah,
go?
where did you? Why didn't you keep the caterpillar going?
I just decided to shave last night. I don't know. Can I do that?
I think you should have kept the caterpillar going.
It'll grow back. It's the stuff on the top of the head that doesn't grow back.
That's funny. Speaking of Supernationals, real
Yeah.
quick, because this is all finished now, but I think this is an interesting number. $58,495 in unclaimed purse money at the Supernationals. That is the
understand
money
that.
that
Can I have some?
they left behind.
So they just
in
so,
the pit shack.
So if you leave the money, does that mean that it's finders keepers, losers
Well,
weepers?
I'm going on vacation next week. I could use some gas money.
Almost
That's
$59,000.
That's a lot of money.
You know, and so it's a daunting task to bring it to the office, take all the envelopes apart because they stuff all the envelopes. Boone Speedway is extremely efficient in how they pay out. So it's very organized. So we just bring it back and unorganize it, take it all apart, throw it into the bank account, and then issue checks to everybody. And we're doing the checks. I think Virginia Lindsay's doing them actually today, October 4th. We're going to start issuing the checks out to the racers, but it's a bunch of work. You know, it would be a lot easier if people just picked it up at the races and we didn't have to go through this
Then all
hassle.
you have to worry about is just mailing out contingencies.
Yeah, and Carson's finishing that up today as well. So
I saw him.
We're trying
Where
to
is
put
Carson?
he's up front in his office.
Too good to join us?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff he's got to get done, and then he's got a 5-hour drive home.
He's got like dog. It's probably dog class day or something.
He's been coming down every week for the last
Monday,
6
Tuesday.
weeks, maybe since
been
before
a while.
Supernationals. He comes down every week, spends Monday and Tuesday here, getting everything, getting all this stuff.
I
wrapped
think he
up.
said he's got doggy graduation tonight.
Yeah,
if
it's
I'm
his
not
last
mistaken.
dog
It is
eat
a
class.
lot. Yes, you get the certificate whether your dog passed or not.
We got a new dog over the weekend as well.
You did.
Yes,
You didn't see that?
my wife came home with a dog.
Oh no.
She
What
went
kind of
to-
dog?
Another mini Australian Shepherd.
I mean, was this like a talked about thing? Because I
She-
remember when we got another dog at
she
my house, we
follows-
didn't talk about it. I was told it happened, and I had to like it,
My wife employs,
and
the
I was
same,
good with it.
My wife employs the same theory that I have on many things, and that is, it's easier to
Ask for forgiveness than it is permission.
ask for forgiveness than beg for permission, or beg for forgiveness instead of asking for permission, however you want to look at it. So she decides she's going to get this dog, right? And so she gets this dog, and I don't know, I've got some pictures here I could probably
Well, Dell, we
send.
all have pictures of our dogs.
I could
Well,
send,
our cats.
I could send it to Nate. But my
you have a cat.
my other dog, Cinch,
Oh yeah, how'd
is
Cinch
a
do
mini
with the dog?
Australian.
How-
He does not know what the hell to think right now. He is like,
He
just
doesn't
looks
remember
at-
being that small, huh?
No, he just looks at Gypsy is the new dog's name, and so he just looks at Gypsy and he's just like, "What the hell are you doing in the house?
Well, this is where I live.
Is this thing alive? You know, because she looks like literally like a
Yeah.
little chew toy, like Jim's dogs. You know, they're like 3 pounds.
Well, Cinch was a tiny little thing, though. When he
Well, yeah, I mean when they're mini, I mean they're.
They are actually siblings, so half.
So they
have
came from the same
father.
breeder.
They're the same, yeah,
Okay.
same person,
They're
same
same- yeah.
same father dog, different mothers, but they're
They
brother,
come from the same.
sister.
They come from the same
Does that make
sire.
Yes.
That's what it
Maybe
is.
we
It's
ought
called
to
a
have
sire.
I know, Jerry.
Bring our dogs to podcast day. It'd
I
probably
would.
be a lot more
Oh,
interesting
we'd
than
have a-
Jerry.
I sent Nate a picture. So, but anyhow, yeah, dogs. Today's dog day.
Yes.
I
My
guess.
dogs are at the sitters for
Dog
the
day.
week because
Dog day for
Jackie's
Carson
gone
and
and
dog day for me.
She's gone.
she's gone on vacation with her
Uh-oh.
mom. So
Your
then,
wife
of
goes on
course,
vacation
John
without you?
Webb.
yeah, she went on vacation without me
How do you get away with that?
because she
Well, your
wanted to
wife
go
went
hang
to
out with her mom.
Texas without you last week.
So we
Yeah,
see
but I
what
can't go
John-
anywhere without her.
John Webb
Oh.
has to
Oh, I
say.
guess it's the same. Can you go
Yeah.
on vacation without your wife?
Yeah, talk to John.
IMCA this Jim.
Put on speaker. Can I go out of town and go? I do every weekend.
No, that's
We're
not
on a
the same.
podcast, and so are you. What's up?
You're in the middle of broadcast.
Yeah, it's
what do you
okay,
got for
John.
us?
What's going on?
Speak up so we can hear you.
Just reading a post.
Oh boy!
Oh, reading the post.
Thank
Does it involve the Tiger King, your old neighbor?
I don't think that's broadcast.
Why don't you send it to me, and I'll make the decision if it's broadcast worthy. Okay,
Yeah.
see ya.
We'll have to
That's no
censor-
kidding, though. John and Nikki's
censor that.
Webb, their next door neighbor was Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He had sold
He
like
bought
I
a
think
truck from John. And
Yeah, John,
Well,
John
he
ex-
had got a truck from John
didn't
and
pay
then
for it.
didn't pay for it.
yeah, it was a loaner.
Yeah, it was a loaner truck. Yeah, actually, if you drove it, the two driveways were next to each other, but
weird
the
like
property does. Carol Baskin owns the property.
Did you stop
now.
there? Have you ever stopped there on your way past?
No, I haven't, but I told him I'm going to do that.
It's
sometime.
literally like the next exit up from
Yeah.
Ardmore. It's right on. It is literally right on 35 as you go through Oklahoma. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know what you're looking
I mean,
at,
it's
you
right.
never
It's
know
right. It's
there.
right after the best hand pipe.
You can see it from the interstate. If you know what you're looking for, you know what it is. And we got off once and pulled up and went in there, and it was during the pandemic, so it was when all that stuff was going on. We stopped and felt
Now,
like,
had you watched?
felt
the,
like tourists.
Had you watched it?
I haven't
Have you?
watched it.
Oh, has anybody watched the Jeffrey Dahmer?
I haven't watched
Netflix
that
deal?
one yet.
I haven't yet, but I'm getting ready to.
Nope.
I haven't watched that one yet.
That is the talk right now.
It
But we
is.
did that. We stopped at Tiger, whatever.
Tiger King.
King's compound, whatever you want to call
I
it.
can't remember what he called
So you
it.
pull up and you're like, oh, I remember that I remember that building, or I remember that. Oh yeah, it looked familiar at the time. I probably wouldn't recognize it now. I also stopped once at Neverland Ranch in California one time. Did I ever tell this story?
You stopped at Neverland?
Yeah, I stopped
see
at
Michael?
Neverland Ranch. Well, we were going from Ventura at the time. We were going from Ventura up to a race. I think, I don't know if we were going to Santa Maria or if we just went up. I think it's the 101 up to Watsonville. I think we were coming out of L.A. and going up to Watsonville. We decided to take the 101 because it's really scenic. Neverland Ranch is kind of by Santa Maria. I don't know if you know this or not. It's north of L.A., but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So we were driving up the road, and I was like, I it was Michael Jackson's birthday. That's how this all went down. So it was Michael Jackson's birthday. It was on the news. He had already passed away. But it was on the radio and stuff. And we're driving. I'm like, I wonder where Neverland Ranch is. And I'm like, holy crap, it's like right over here, like literally like 20 miles. And so we just turned off and went down this little road. And it's literally like going out in California farmland.
Yeah.
And you just come around a little road, a little windy little 2-lane road, and boom, there sits this fancy gate and this big logo on the front of it and all that stuff. And so it was his birthday. So they had this big like sign out there for people to get out and sign it. So I got out and signed it. And
You signed a birthday sign
I
for
laughed
Michael
about
Jackson.
it, Virginia. It was
Right
me and
next to
Virginia.
Macaulay Culkins.
At the time, yeah. When we first got there, I was, we were the only two people there. But then we're,
Go figure.
yeah.
You drew a crowd in. Did yours? You're
It gets
driving all the
It
way.
gets better, Jim. It gets better. So we're taking a picture of me at the front gate. I could probably find it. It's in one of my memories. And up pulls this big giant bus, and out get about 30 Asian people.
I was gonna say it had to be that. It had
Not
to be,
joking. Yeah, they get out, and everybody's talking,
Asian.
Asian. And
What you should have done is
I was
try
like
to pass
this.
yourself off as Tito.
yeah, there you go. That might have been tough. Might have been tough for me, but
I think you could have done
I
it.
can pass myself off as Vanilla Ice if I have to. But Tito might be a tough.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be real drunk to maybe think.
But
you know,
anyhow, that's one of the trips like that. Shit like that happening to me is like.
That's every time you leave town.
I
Doesn't
would
something cool like that
Yeah,
happen?
not every time, but that's one of the things that I'm very, very,
if you have to-
very, very, very grateful for by being involved with IMCA is being able to see the country and being able to go to different parts of the country. If I didn't work for something like IMCA, I'd have never got that opportunity to do some of those kinds of things. So we
To see
tried
a
to
bus full of Asians at Neverland
at
Ranch.
Neverland Ranch. Exactly. But I'd never get that opportunity to do that stuff. And not only do I get to see just piles and piles of really cool, we got static, piles and piles of really cool racetracks and really cool races and meet lots of really cool racers with interesting occupations and all kinds of stuff like that. But you also get to do things non-racing, and
yeah.
which is always entertaining, I think. So anyhow, it's my Neverland Ranch story.
Neverland Ranch. Why do we get
So-
staticky in our ears?
Bad connection.
It's even when Jerry isn't talking, we hear the static.
Yeah.
Wow, you were full of it today on this
Yeah.
You woke me up with a text message at midnight last night.
Well, you should
I'm
have
not
been
very
up.
happy
It
with
wasn't.
you.
It was a Snapchat.
Well,
you
still.
ding dong. Get it right if you're going to tell the story. I mean, don't make them up like I do.
I think it's better
So-
now.
So $59,000 in unclaimed purse money is being mailed out of the office this week. We also have about it.
So you can lower the purse by $60,000 next year and no one will bat an eye, right?
Nobody will know.
Yeah. I mean, that we get hammered enough for the purse not being. I don't know what the word. Pay more. I mean, it paid $10,000 to win mods, $7,500 to win stock cars, $5,000 to win sport mods. I mean, it paid. If you again, we talked about this. We don't need to keep talking about it, but they're the highest paying events for the most part in IMCA racing, each division, or at least very close to be in each division. And then we have little things at the event that people don't really
Know about.
like the All-Star Invitational race. What's the purse for the All-Star Invitational? Do you know?
No, I don't. I've been asked many
I
times.
don't know what the total is. No.
The total is about $9,000. It's about 80. I think it's like 89.50. So there's about $9,000 in that 30 lap, 30 car deal. It pays. I think it's $200 to start. But when you put 30 cars out there, it's easy for the purse to get pretty high. And again, there's no entry fee. There's no additional fee for any racer to be in that. We also pay, the Race of Champions purses, which add up to be fair amounts of money in each division. And anybody who attempts to qualify, like in the modifieds and the ROCs, gets $100. So if you just go out for the heat race in the ROC, if you're eligible, and you don't make it to the 12 lap dash at the end, you still get $100. So I look at some of
You
these
get 50 cars and a dozen of them make it. You've still got 40 cars. That's $4,000 just right there.
kind of adds up. I look at some of the purse stuff and the checks that we're sending out to people, and it makes me feel like, okay, do these guys know that they were even eligible to get that extra $100? Because a lot of the ROC guys didn't pick it up, and it could be because they didn't even realize
I think that's a lot of
That's
it.
that
They
were
don't
getting
realize
paid
it.
to do that. So, but $4,000 here, $9,000 there,
Adds up.
it does add up to an already very, very big Supernationals purse. But $60,000.
How much was
unclaimed
it?
cash.
60?
Yeah, $60,000. 50. It was right, just shy of 59,000. And then we have about a dozen and a half refunds on parking and things like that. And we have a handful of entry fees, a couple dozen entry fees that we send back. We don't keep anything. we joke about it, but it's not, I mean, we look at it from the standpoint of everybody came, everybody deserves to get paid, and Lottie will tell you, hey, I don't pay a bunch. I'm not known for paying the highest purses, but we pay what we say we're going to pay.
Yeah.
And we never short anybody, whether it be $20 or $200. So all that stuff's going out, and that'll put an end.
15,075.
On what?
Just think what that number might mean.
No
That's
idea.
how many watermelons you can buy right now at Walmart with that 60,000.
15,000 watermelons.
15,000 watermelons.
Whew, that's a lot of
Personal watermelon
a lot
at
of watermelons.
Walmart right now is $3.98.
It's a lot of watermelon slushies.
Ooh, yeah.
But the 40th
We have a machine.
anniversary event is a wraps after the next couple of days. We still give away at the banquet too.
So they get their ring.
rings.
Yeah.
They get their rings, their champion rings. They get a jacket. They also get a custom helmet that we have for them.
For the champions.
Yep. So it's not over for them. It is, but it isn't. So we hope to have them all come to our banquet and pick up those awards as well. So that's a wrap on the Supernationals. We also got weekly racing stuff is.
That's a wrap.
That's a
is a
wrap,
wrap.
That's a wrap.
DUN.
Virginia's been working
DUN.
diligently hard to get all the points finalized and the bonus points applied.
Yep. Virginia worked the weekend. I came in on Sunday and I'm like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "Well, I just want to get all the point stuff done." I'm like, "I feel like a slave driver when she's here late or when she's here on the weekends." But she says
Don't
it's
worry,
just-
boss. You'll never catch me doing that.
Yeah, I know. You weren't here. Ryan wasn't here. But occasionally you come in and out.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yep, we all kind of pop in, pop out. So this is my small little circle that I live in is 4 blocks from my house. And so if I need to run over here, I run over here and do my stuff. But Virginia was here working diligently.
I think she
on,
worked all
So,
weekend.
so speaking of running, have you been training?
Why are you
Oh,
bringing
man, you
that
got
up for?
you got a week and a half for that deal.
Well, because I remember last week we talked about it, and then you said you were running, and I've never really
Is it a
seen you run.
triathlon? What is this thing?
But don't you have to run in a triathlon? And
Yeah.
bike and swim? Have you been practicing for this event?
I'm like the Allen Iverson of
Practice.
triathlons right now.
No, I think you might be more like the Peter Griffin if you don't get some practice in.
The Peter Griffin.
If you read on, it's the half Ironman is what I'm doing.
Giggity.
No, that's
That's Quagmire.
That's
Yeah.
Quagmire.
It's the half Ironman is what I'm attempting to do next weekend.
So you only have to half-ass practice.
So yeah,
I have a half
Oh, he'll be
practice.
good at that.
Half-ass practice has been my motto. Most people who train for these things, they train for like 3 months and they run and swim and bike like a combination of. They do all kinds of combinations of workouts to
Okay,
get you
so
ready
that-
for it. Then the last week they do what's called a taper. They taper all their workouts off so they aren't working out and then they're ready for it. Well, I'm reverse tapering right now. I haven't practiced. I haven't swam. I've rode my bike like 20 miles. I'm not joking, total.
Well, the first time you
And
did
I ran
this,
this
though,
morning. I've been running the last week. I got up this morning and I think I ran like somewhere between 4 and 5 miles. So I'm like, okay, how far can I go before I have to stop and walk? That's for me what gauges how ready I am.
Yeah.
And I ran it was probably 4 miles this morning. I didn't have to stop. But I also don't run a very fast pace. Some people will say it would almost look like I'm walking.
But the first time you did this triathlon thing, didn't you think you were going to die in the water, or weren't you?
Yeah, it's swim or die. I
Right.
mean, it's to me, that's the swim portion of it is first, and it literally is to me, it's the most terrifying part of it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
what
The swimming is
intimidating.
first?
It's first.
Yeah, swimming's
Holy
first.
shit! That
So
would
if you're
work.
going to cramp, if you're going
If
to
you're gonna
cramp
cramp,
up,
you're gonna-
That's good.
they want you to cramp when you're running at the end and you just fall down and hit your head.
Oh, rather
Yeah.
than
Then
Or
that
drown.
makes
versus
sense.
swimming last and cramping up and sinking to the bottom.
So while you're doing all this training, if you have all this junk food that's going to waste in your house, I will take that off your hands.
I got some cheese dip and some Fritos right now.
So I was, because you don't stop for any of that stuff. So I mean, if things happen because it's a triathlon, would you have like a triple deuce?
Triple deuce.
Okay, so
You shit
the
yourself, do you?
ugly part of
Because that is the ugly
I've
part
heard
of that
that.
deal.
the ugly part that they warn you about this stuff is don't when you ride your bike, you're not supposed to be. You can't draft, is what they call it. Just like racing.
Oh
you
yeah,
can't get right
drafting's
behind.
awesome.
You can't get.
Why
have
would
to-
you want
You
to,
have to
Frank?
stay a certain feet behind the person ahead of you. Not
You're
necessarily
eating
that
the
so
bean
much.
dip. Nobody's going to draft with you.
Not necessarily.
What happened? I got spackled by root there. I was running 32nd of a 15 bike pack.
That you don't see. The people tend to shit themselves when they're running more so when they're riding their bike. When they're riding their bike,
Look out, Brett's got the walking parts.
yeah, it's a 56-mile bike ride, the half 70 or whatever it is, and it's not. There's bathroom stops. They have like two stations where
Like
if you want to
Kaibos,
stop,
or is it
yeah,
behind a
potties.
tree?
They're porta potties like every 13 miles or 15 miles if you have an emergency like that. But generally speaking, people don't stop. If you want
to win it, you probably
they
want to
warn
keep
you.
going.
You could get spit on. You could get your nose blown on you, or you get pissed on because people will just wet themselves when they're riding their bikes. If they don't stop and take breaks, they just go.
So it's not like RagBrag where you just find a cornfield and
No, it's
pinch
not
one
like
off
RagBrag.
and then get back on your bike.
It's like the swim, you know. I mean, if you're last to go get into the water, you're going to be swimming through a lot of pee.
Well, but
I mean,
it's in a
that's the
lake,
reality
right?
of
So
it.
I mean, it
a river.
disperses or whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like you're
Same
following
with-
like this stream of pee right behind you.
Same with the
How
bike.
do you know?
I mean, you could be.
You really don't.
But when you get to the run part, after you've swam 1.2 miles,
They scream, "Look out
bike
for the road
56.
apples!"
you bike 56. By the time you get to the run, your body starts
my
doing crazy things. It starts thinking, "What are you doing this for?" And crapping yourself is one of those things.
Well, that's why I got
You
that
ever go through, like, the-
rare picture of Brett training.
Yeah, that's me right there.
There he is.
That ain't no joke. That was me this morning. So this might be my
Just
last
don't slip in the
podcast.
slurry on
Might
that
be your
last
last
run.
pod. You go
Might be
next
my
week.
last podcast.
So where's it at? So we can
Waco.
in Waco.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be in Batesville next week, so I can't.
I signed up for this for. You have to sign up about a year.
Can we
ahead
send
of
a
time.
camera crew?
How many
And follow-
times have you done this?
Oh!
You've done
This will
this.
be my third one.
Could we do a documentary on
I told
this?
myself I was going to do 3 halves, which is 70.3 total miles. I was going to do 3 halves, and then I was going to do the full, and then I was going to retire from doing it. The
So-
full is 100 and 120.6
Lord.
Will you put the sticker on the back truck of your window when you do that, though?
or 140.6. Sorry,
Yeah,
did the
people
math
always
wrong.
put the 26.2 or the 13.
You see, if I see a 13.1 on somebody's vehicle, I know it's a half marathon. They ran a half marathon. That's what the run is on this
Yeah.
distance, 13.1.
So they give you the sticker once you complete it, or what? Or is that just
They-
to sign up? I'll do that. I'll put the sticker
That's
on
a
my
marathon
car.
thing. I don't,
Yeah.
it's a 70.3 total miles. So it'd take me 7 hours, I bet. I did it in under 7 hours the first time.
And what's the purpose of all this? Feel good
Challenge.
about yourself?
Yeah, just the challenge of it.
I mean, do you get a
To
do you get
That's
a
a whole
survive.
lot.
I mean, you know,
it's
see-
not a race for me against anybody else. It's a race against my
yourself,
personal
against
self.
yourself.
Race
so,
for
like, you know,
survival.
every driver got a sticker that Supernationals that said "I survived
survived,"
Supernationals." I mean, are you going to get a sticker that says "I crapped my pants at Waco"?
Kinda. You can buy those. You can personalize the little plaque if you actually finish it. They give you can get a plaque. You have to pay for it. It's not free.
Well, you
So
do.
what-
But anyhow,
What time
why are we
does
talking
this
about
this start on Sunday?
Oh, it's Sunday, so we could
A week from
Can we
Sunday.
tune in?
so we could actually take off from Batesville and get to Waco.
It's Sunday morning. It starts Sunday morning.
So if we left after the
And I'm gonna
So-
I'm gonna try to stop. There's some races. Obviously, the Southern Challenge is next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's gonna be down at that, and I think the Mod Light race is next weekend in Waco.
yes,
I was gonna try to swing out there maybe on Friday.
I'll
Saturday,
be in
I'm not
Cotton
much of a
Bowl,
I don't function
right down the street from you.
Yeah, exactly. Jim's gonna be in Cotton Bowl
ooh,
that weekend.
Make sure
Batesville's
you're
that
make sure you're
weekend.
down. You're
Yep.
upwind of him. Jim.
Still a lot of races.
yeah, make-
Upstream?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is like my vacation. Is that not weird? Is that the dumbest vacation you? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I mean,
don't-
you ask,
everyone
you ask
likes
some
what they
people,
like. I
Some
don't-
people say, I can't believe you take a whole week of vacation to go to the races.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't believe you take a week of vacation.
there's
to
literally
run,
people
but-
from all over the world that come to these triathlons. I mean, I'm on the page. They have a page like we have for Supernationals. They have a Waco triathlon page, and there's people coming from Canada and Sweden. They come from all over. Some of them take it very serious because there's qualifiers to get into the World Championships. So you can go.
So some actually train.
Some actually take it serious and train. I do not. I try to
You
train.
think those
as-
guys that are serious look at you
Kind of
and be like,
mimics
"What's that guy doing
mimics
there?"
his
Oh, yeah.
racing career, Jim.
Yeah, yeah. They classify you by weight. I'm in the Clydesdale division. If that's any indication of what they think of me.
Clyde's.
Jerry, you ought to think you'd be in the sumo division.
So,
I'd be more like in the Belgian.
Waffle.
yeah.
Yeah, duh.
Exactly.
Oh, them sound good right now.
So anyhow, Speedway Motors weekly racing season has come to an end. You had some stuff. Were you going to talk about some stats?
I've got.
Do we know who the champions are?
Well, I mean, Points don't become
unofficially.
official until the end of October. Every track has the opportunity to match points, make sure everything is kosher.
Oh, yeah,
check
yeah.
and double check and double check the checks and double checks the double checks.
A lot of history this year. There's always history. but
Yeah.
every time you've got a
Unofficially,
champion.
obviously, at this point in time for us, you know, we're fairly certain of who our champions are going to be.
Can we say who they are? Can we say who they are?
I don't care.
Let's
If
see
you
who they are.
want to,
Let's see who
we
they
can
are.
Who's the
talk
modified
about it.
champion, Jerry?
Um,
And all these drivers, I believe Bill Martin called them all.
Called
Yeah,
them all.
we've reached out
This
to
is
them
not
already.
going to be a surprise. We're not going to find out.
I'd have to say it was
podcast.
probably Jordan Grabowski.
You would be correct. And do you know how he made history?
This is like isn't this his fourth championship? Or this
Fifth.
is his fourth one, but I don't know, or fifth.
He
So-
won in 11, 16, 18, 19, and now in 22. He's the first 5-time modified national champion in IMCA history.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
If we had any 4-time.
Wasn't there that Sadoff guy or something?
Sadoff guy. Well, there have been a couple. Haven't
So
there?
we've had 9 national modified championships
From
out of Beatrice.
Beatrice, yeah.
Wow,
Out of 42, 43. Yeah, crazy. 40.
that is crazy. Sorry, I'm eating chips. I don't
That's okay.
AJ Ward, I believe, unofficially going to finish second. William Gould,
Oh, Livewire.
third. Travis Denning, fourth. And Matthew Day, we met him, talked to him over in Boone. He was a Southern Sport Mod national champion last
He
year.
won at
top 5.
He won at Southern Oklahoma last week.
He snuck into the 5th place, I believe, due to bonus points.
Mm-hmm.
Put him
Dave's
into
one of
5th
those,
place.
you know, good demonstration of a guy who's racing in one division, does well, wins a national championship, jumps up, races the next division. I think he's also going to be our rookie of the year.
Well, I would think so
Right.
if he got fifth in national
Well,
points.
yeah.
I think,
he should
if I
be.
remember
And I didn't bring the rookie
I
points.
don't
on
have
with me,
any that in front of me. I'm just, you know, thinking
just have
off
bean
of
dip.
memory. I have
Or
Fritos.
Fritos.
and cheese.
You talk about multiple divisions. Dylan Richards, first hobby stock national championship, and according to Bill Martin, he is the 7th
Exactly.
to win a championship on the national level in multiple divisions. So
Doesn't he live like in Beatrice too?
He is over in that area, not in Beatrice, but he is in
Nebraska
he
somewhere
is in
right now.
Nebraska. And that was the tightest battle of all of the national points. It actually came down to bonus points.
Do we have anybody win a national championship from Iowa?
Matthew Loft from Sway City, Iowa. A lot of people think he's from
dangerously close to
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
People think he's
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Oh.
he's
He's five-time.
within a triathlon spit or something away from it.
Mike Nichols, I think he's from. I've never heard of him. But I think he's from Iowa. Yeah, Mike Nichols got his 11th stock car championship, probably his hardest of all since he was injured partway through.
Well, yeah, I mean everybody. Always, I told Mike one day. I said, I said everybody's wondered how they could stop you from winning a national championship, and little did we know it's going to be
Sabotage his lawnmower.
John Deere riding lawnmower, and then he proved us all wrong. And I talked to him, this week or last weekend, and he says, I just seen how his surgery went, and he was kind of telling me about it, and he said, I probably got back in the car too early. But he says, I've been doing it. I knew where I needed to be and when I needed to be to make sure, he says, because once I knew I could move and I could drive, he says, I knew I could have a shot at getting that, even though I was driving one-handed.
And the fact that Shelby County didn't open on time this year, that probably helped him out. That season was delayed. So, well, back to hobby stocks, Dylan Richards, talking about him being a 7th multiple winner of multiple divisions. We've had 5 different national champions in the hobby stock division in the last 5 years. First time in 21 years that there have been 5 consecutive different hobby stock champions, which I thought was kind of cool.
It is.
Kind of spreading the wealth a little bit.
People like to think we can dictate how this stuff all goes down, and we really can't. We continually try to improve our point system and try to make it fair to where you have a guy that maybe can't race 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, or even in Iowa 5 nights a week or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting to see the states where our champions come from, the circumstances in which they win it. It's all very interesting to me. It's very telling, and it's so authentic. Do people think we script it? And sometimes I wish we were smart enough we could script some of the way these things play out, but we don't.
Well, look at the modifieds. You've got a Central Region driver as your national champion. AJ Ward's an East Region driver. William Gould is South Central. You got North Central with Travis Denning, South Central with Matthew Day. So 4 of the 5 regions are represented in the top 5. So I think that's a good testament to the point structure. The
So
point
how did
system.
the stock car top 5 lay out?
Nichols, then Cameron Wilkinson, then Grabowski, again. Kelly Shryock made it into the top 5 based on bonus points, and then Jeffrey Larson, 5th.
Okay, read them all.
That's
People?
the top 5.
Yeah.
You said the top 5
Yeah,
in
but the
stock
next,
cars.
I mean, we got.
Well, I don't have all the top 5 in every
Oh,
division
okay.
because
Yeah.
some of them just weren't close.
I would like to challenge any of these guys to to do a 70.3 triathlon with me if they want.
Any of these national champions?
Yeah. I don't know. Someone could beat me, probably.
I could see Grabowski doing it.
The young guys.
I could.
I think I
Grabowski.
could beat Grabowski.
Grabowski, yeah.
I see Nichols right there.
You see
right
some of those-
alongside with you.
It's like, it's funny you say this, though, because it's like you see some people do draws where they have foot races at the racetrack. You seen some of this
Oh,
stuff?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, those are that's gonna be
Lineups.
that's
Those are
gonna be a
fun.
hell of a good time.
And I'm like, they're going to break somebody's leg or somebody's ankle or something like that. Or
Get a couple old guys in there, might blow out a hip
yeah,
or
you've
something.
got. How would you like to take on like a kid like Caden Reynolds? You know, who's very young. You know, in a foot race.
Yeah, but he's 21 now, so he's drunk half the time now, I think.
Yeah,
He's got to be.
he's got it.
He's
I
got
don't
to be.
know that maybe.
Matthew Lowe, 5-time champion. Nate Koopman, 5-time champion in the sport compacts. Colby Sabin and Tyler Feeblecorn, who you see quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, both of
throughout
them. I
the
see
course
them.
of the season.
Yeah.
They finished 2nd and 3rd. Corey Dumpert made history, 4-time defending late model champion.
It's like 4 in a row, isn't he?
4 in a row, and he's the only modern, or the only driver in the modern era to do that. But if you go all time, Ernie Durr won 4 in a row from 59 to 62, and he won 7 in a row from 65 to 71. So it's the first time in over 50 years a late model champion has won 4.
So Dumper's
national
rewriting
titles.
the books.
He is.
Son of a gun.
Wonder if he likes jalapeno cheese dip and Fritos.
Dumper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
That's the
Grabowski.
kind of stuff that I think is interesting. I want to know.
I bet Grabowski does.
There.
We know all
You're
about,
all about Grabo, aren't you? You are all.
we all know who they are as racers, but to me, an interesting thing is
Personal
like,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's their favorite food?
You know, we
what-
talk about
What do they drive around? What's their daily driver?
Right.
What do they do besides racing? You know, all those kinds of things. Their occupations are always interesting. You know, things like that are to me are as interesting about our racers as anything else.
We should have a roundtable podcast over at the banquet when we get all of our champions together. We can ask them these questions.
Yeah,
Get
let's
them all
do
to come.
it.
Get them all
When
to
I was up
attend
at,
the round table.
Jamestown at the Stampede a couple weeks ago, I was talking to one of our racers who probably has what I believe is the best job. He's a professional hockey player.
No way. Who's that?
Oh man, I'm gonna screw his name up. It's Austin Days, right? Is that how you
Oh,
pronounce
Doe.
it? Stock car
Austin.
driver?
Austin
Doe.
Doe. I didn't know he was a
Yeah.
hockey player.
Really?
Yeah, he
Like a
was
pro
He was a
actually.
football player, wasn't he? No, that was.
Oh no, that's Brandon Labatt.
Yeah, Brandon Labatt.
Yeah,
he was
Brandon
for
Labatt.
the Canadian football
Austin
Racing
team.
Doe is a
Esteban,
hockey
didn't he?
player.
Yeah, he was. I was
mean-
talking to him, and he was having to go to camp right after the race in Jamestown.
Wow.
Note to self,
crazy.
and all other racers who are racing against that gentleman.
Don't mess with him.
Don't
He's the
fight with
last
him.
person you want to get in a fight with
Because we've always made the comment,
You
know,
can
if you
pick out
want to
hockey
fight,
guys.
if you want to fight at the racetrack, we're-
instantly. It's like wrestlers. Don't mess with kids that have cauliflower ears. You just don't. When you go to bars, when you're in college, don't mess with the kids with cauliflower
look at
ears.
that kid with the goofy ear.
They're going to put you in a suplex or have you in one of those contorted positions and just choke you out and beat the crap out of you. But I would think that a hockey player would be quick to pull your jersey or your shirt or whatever over your
Yeah,
head.
it's gonna be hard to get a driver suit over the guy's head.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to take the chance.
I'm pretty
I'd
excited.
pay to
Hockey
see a
season-
hockey player kick some ass.
season-
at the
That's what's
racetrack.
awesome about hockey is you can just
I love fights. But see here lately, like
they
last
stick
year,
up for each other. I mean, they and there's all
That's
kinds
right.
of cool things about hockey
Oh,
when it
exactly.
comes to that subject.
See, and everybody thinks there's always, and you know, Jim and I had this conversation one day on a car ride. Everybody, and there's a great documentary out there on Netflix, I think it was. Everybody thinks, oh, every hockey player's a fighter. No, I mean, there's enforcers. Those are the guys that's there. That's what they do.
It's like bodyguards.
It's like you know, I was watching it. They, you know, if you the hockey player that never got hit, that never got hurt, Wayne Gretzky, because everybody's job was to protect Gretzky.
Is
And-
Gretzky ever in a fight ever?
No,
In his whole career?
I don't know. I think in that documentary,
I think he was in one or two I've seen.
But we
That
didn't
had to
laugh
be in
at
his
him.
Hockey
young.
fights
That had to be in his early
.com.
days.
But I mean, it's not. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good. I've always said, you know, if you want to have a good hockey fight at a racetrack, that's good. You know, bring it to the front stretch. We'll let you go gloves off, and when you guys go to the ground, we'll pounce on top of you.
That's
and,
right.
and
We'll
we're
just
done.
pull you apart.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here, 5 minutes for major, 2 minutes for fighting.
I've been in. I've witnessed a few fights at racetracks and had people say, "Oh, what are you gonna do about that? You gonna stop that?" I'm not. I don't ever jump in on the fights because it's a good way to get chicken winged, or your teeth knocked out, or your nose broke trying to break up something. Yeah. Say, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean that's why they changed. I mean the
it goes
officials
that
in
direction.
hockey, same thing. They used
They
to
wait
get
till
in the
they're
middle.
down. Yeah, they
That-
wait.
and it was like
Yeah.
Well, I mean back in the IMCA race, the sprint car days. Doran Doty was raced at the Iowa State Fairgrounds and down there, and he was a hockey ref, and he can tell you stories. He said I got hurt more of working hockey than I did driving a sprint car. He said, then they changed the rule that, hey, let them go to the ground. Once they get on the ground, then pounce them.
I think we had speaking of fights and stuff like that, I think we had an incident like that at Hayes over the weekend at the Fall Nationals.
Oh, did we?
Well, I don't know if you would say
I've
a fight.
heard rumors of it.
I'd talk to Dave about it. Again, when he's making the decisions he has to make as our comp director, I mean, the buck stops with him. And if he's going to disqualify somebody, he's going to disqualify somebody based on his knowledge and what he thinks and how we interpret the rules. That situation happened over the weekend in Hayes.
Yep.
And it sounded like the
Sport compact driver.
those involved
Was
were
it Sport Compact?
not pleasant for him to deal with. And that, that's the thing at times that I don't know if racers understand the everything that's at stake when you have somebody, whether it be a track person, a tech official, or that's maybe new, or you have somebody like Dave who's been inspecting race cars for us for as long as I can remember, and he's our comp director, and he's used to it. But whether it's somebody that's never had to DQ anybody before, or it's the first time they ever have, or it's Dave, the setting of those situations can be all over the board, but they can get quite contentious. They can get quite, I don't know if I wouldn't say violent, I would say they can get pretty heated, and emotions run wild, and people can say things, do things, unfortunately, or unfortunately, I mean, sometimes those situations are calm. You had the situation at Supernationals with the day kid, and then you have a situation that's completely opposite of that, where our employees, or Dave in particular, is being called everything in the book, and I don't know if racers understand how hard it is to be in that situation, to make those decisions, and then to take the verbal assaults that come at any official, me, Jim, any of us that are working at IMCA, and Dave, when you have to make a bad decision. I don't know if it's a bad decision, it's a good decision, but you have to make the decision to disqualify somebody.
Oh, I mean.
And then it goes, it runs amok.
Yeah, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? Well,
F this, F that.
Yeah,
F you.
I mean, it's, and I get it. We've talked about it in the past. It's, when does the if a driver, the passion, well, the passion becomes, you cross the line when you get personal with somebody.
It's the personal aspect of
It's
it
when you
usually.
it's when you get that way with somebody, or you endanger them. I run into a situation where two guys did something wrong, but then I'm sitting here having to deal with this lady who has a 4-year-old child that almost got run over by a car because driver A was mad at driver B. Driver A screams through the pits. Driver B goes to driver A, and then they all want us to do something. Well, I don't. You're the fault here because of what you almost killed somebody in the pit area.
It's tough. It's tough when they bring other people, innocent people, into those situations, whether it be with, acting like a maniac in a race car, on the track even, crashing the wrong people or crashing people in the pits, or driving through the pits really fast and endangering fans, or just being in that setting where everybody's out of their cars and race cars are all shut off. And then, the verbal stuff starts, and it can get pretty heated, but we kind of.
Oh, yeah. We've all seen it.
We've all seen it. We've all experienced it, and within reason. We try not to make it personal, and they try not to make it personal. But I do tell the guys like Dave and Jim, and I have for quite a few years now. Our general rule of thumb is we treat people the way they treat us. If you're going to tell me to F off, expect me to say it back to you. If that's how I feel. If you're making it personal, I had that on Facebook just last week. a racer said, "What are you going to do about such and such?" I'm like, "Well, that's events not even sanctioned. I'm not going to do anything about that." "Well, you guys don't care about anything." I don't know if that's necessarily the
hear that all the
appropriate
time.
approach. But then I said something back. He didn't like it. And he told me to F you. And I'm like, well, F you too. You know, have a good day. You know, I mean, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do in these situations?
There's that one time that you said something about a guy and then it went rampant for a while.
I tend to call a spade, you know, people.
My theory of it, and that's my theory too. If you can talk to me that way and you can say that to me, why can't I say it back?
Right.
The reason I don't say it back is because I'm the bigger person. Because I don't need,
Well, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me.
But I'm not saying I won't come back at you though. I'm just saying that 9 times out of 10 we take the high road because we feel, okay, you know, we got to conform to you. We got to cater to you.
If you don't want to take it to that level, then don't. If
see
you don't
it.
want it to go to that level, don't take it to that level.
Exactly. You know, be respectful.
It's like the people that are really nice to police officers when they pull them over. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Whatever it may be, until they get the ticket. Are you not going to give me a warning? Nope. Then they get the ticket, and then they all of a sudden turn into assholes. You know? And it's like, well, he's doing his job, and there's a lot of
looking for any
similarities.
trouble here. I'm not looking for any trouble.
There's a lot of similarities
that's-
between
I'm
law
not-
enforcement and what we do at IMCA. You know, and
not
you
looking to
get
make
into
this
those-
difficult.
Everybody's cordial, but you get in those moments where you have to make a decision that results in a disqualification, and things.
Well, the thing
can
of
get
it is
interesting.
we don't want to be told we're wrong. We don't want to be told we did something wrong. And, you know, whether you get disqualified for a illegal part or you get this or you get that, you know, somebody of authority tells you and you're like, you know, F you, I did this. It is not. And then you get this way. And it doesn't matter whether it's racing a car. Like you said, you know, you get pulled over by the cop. You know you were speeding. You know you were going fast. All he's doing is his job. All we're doing is our job.
Enough about that.
Yeah, well, typically you talk to me that way. The conversation is over.
How do
I'll
we get
walk
off on
away.
this?
I don't even care.
Same way.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know how we went this direction, but
We still got 2 more champions.
I
we
did
haven't
it.
worked on.
yeah, let's talk about something positive.
So we did Grabowski modified nickel stock car, Richards hobby stock, Loft sport mod. We did say Nate Koopman, right? In a sport compact.
5-time.
Dylan Rafferty, 2-time in a mod light.
What about anybody from Ohio won a championship?
Corey Dumper in a late model. Would that be Justin Clark? Is he Ohio?
Yeah.
He is
Oh, we have a visitor to the podcast.
the first.
That's Cujo.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you
Slap
confiscated.
shot in the background.
Yeah, I thought you confiscated Tom Berry's dog there for a minute. Slap shot.
It's Jim's
Talking
guard
about
dog.
hockey fights.
Yeah.
You know what? Justin Clark,
That's why we don't allow dogs at the Supernationals, because Jim brings Cujo.
Yeah, that
Vicious?
goes back to Sadoff.
vicious. That's a vicious.
That's a
dog.
Johnny Sadoff rule.
Yeah, when your dog has to be held to your trailer with a log chain, there's a problem.
Holy cow.
Or when your dog bites Lottie, there's a problem.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to bite Lottie, though? Sometimes he deserves it.
Yeah, he's tamed down in this.
He has
old age,
tamed down.
though.
He has, but Lottie will hit
Every
you with
now
a
and then he's got
flashlight
his
if he don't
moments.
like you.
I thought it was a radio.
Yeah, it might have been a radio.
Oh, yeah, he. I mean, back when we just had the radios that were like 8
With the-
miles
with the
long,
big
and he whacked
antennas.
that guy. Ooh.
I think
But
he got knocked-
he
That's
did
been a while,
get
hasn't it?
knocked out by a flashlight. He got knocked off a 4-wheeler.
I think he got knocked off a four-wheeler in that whole incident.
Yeah.
That was the same incident.
No, that was a different incident.
Yeah. Lottie kind of implies the same philosophy to the racers as he implies to himself. He applies to himself, and it's just no crybabies. Don't come here and be a crybaby, and I'm not going to be a crybaby. And I say that because Lottie could get knocked off his four-wheeler, get hit with a flashlight or punched or whatever, and he's never going to call the office and say to IMCA, hey, will you kick that racer out for me? He just never, he never does that.
Yep.
I find a racer one time at Boone Speedway for fighting because I was there testing a crate engine. True story. I was there. I'm not going to say the names. So they're testing a crate engine. The kid who was doing the testing stopped at somebody else's pit on his way back to his pit area and said something, and the kid punched him. And I was standing right there. I watched the whole thing. I'm like, oh, okay. Geez. How do I not find him? I find him, and whoo, I didn't do that again.
Yeah.
Lottie just said, don't find people at my racetrack. And that's generally our philosophy at IMCA as
mean,
well.
I
the
can
promoter
own-
has to endorse
Yeah.
the penalty if they want us involved. We don't get involved if the racetrack refuses to report anything to us, and that upsets people at times. But that's just our general. We treat it like we're the judge at that point in time, and not the police officer. If you know,
Especially when we're not there and can't see what truly happens.
If the police are not issuing the tickets, it's hard for the judge to issue the penalty. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. It's no different than somebody comes down and says, well, he hit him. I watched it. Did an official see it? No. Then it didn't happen in my eyes.
That's a lot of the calls. I don't know what you get, Jim, but
like
that's a lot of the calls I get in the office.
You get a
when it
lot of
comes to
that. We do.
I mean, that's
it's like us going down the highway and we're driving, 65 mile an hour or whatever it may be. And somebody passes us going 75 and we call the cops on them, say this person's speeding 75, he needs to get a ticket. I mean, it's just the police aren't. I've had that done to me before too, by the way.
Oh, so have I.
speaking from experience.
Yeah, I can tell you that happens.
They called me. I'm like, okay, well, what's this mean? But yeah, but
Was
you
that
get a
your
ticket?
neighbor?
no, it wasn't my neighbor. But generally speaking, I don't think get a lot of traction, and it doesn't get a lot of traction with us when it comes to even if the video is submitted or some of the other things that we've
I've
seen.
got a video. Okay, well, none of us witnessed it.
We like to make sure that the racetrack promoters endorse the penalty, and some tracks just don't want us dealing with their problems. They want to handle them problems themselves, and we respect that. Sometimes people don't like to hear that, but that's the reality. So,
You got to remember, every story we hear is just like a pancake.
Got two sides to it.
Got two sides.
I've never seen a one-person fight. That's what I tell people. People call, what are you going to do to him? Well, why on God's green earth is this stuff even happening in the first place?
You had to do something to that person for that person to do something to you.
Yep.
It's like in the situation I had. I said, okay, I'll go down and find him, but you're getting the same thing because you were as equally involved in the situation. And then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Never seen
we
a
talked about the
one-person
Jeffrey Larson deal at the Supernationals when a guy throws a beer bottle at him from the catwalk, and he handled it. He stopped and went look for the guy, and the guy didn't fess up.
Yep.
Should Larson be penalized for getting hit by a beer bottle? No.
It is amazing that the beer bottle, I heard the story from an individual.
Made it into
was
the car.
It came in, you know how you do the old flip deal and you flip the bottle and it lands straight? Did that same thing, landed right side up in the car.
Maybe that's what pissed him off so much.
Damn it, I want that thing to break.
Like one of those TikTok videos where they
Exactly.
do that 1,000 times, and the one time they get it done, they
the trick
they
shots?
show it. Yeah, the trick shots with ping
Another
pong
one
balls
of
and
Garrett's TikTok videos.
kicking. Yeah. Garrett-
All I can say is whatever you do not put weights in your fish at a fishing tournament.
Holy shit.
That's all that's over Facebook.
Why would happen?
And you
my
click on
God.
that, every
So
freaking
in Lake,
story that
Lake
comes
Erie,
up.
they had a fishing tournament last weekend, and these guys, I mean, I could pay like $30,000 to win or something.
They put something in.
Put
them.
weights in them.
So they put weights in the fish. And I mean,
Fish fillets.
this one they cut open had a walleye fillet and weights in it.
Yeah. Little
No
8-pound
way.
weights.
Yeah.
Yes.
To think fishermen would actually cheat fishing tournaments.
Well, they said they had won up to like $300,000.
Yeah, they'd won a ton of money.
They'd won
a lot of money.
all
Did
year
they have
long.
to give it all back?
Well, it was from
They're
previous.
still working on
it was- They called the police.
Yeah,
they got it.
Well, I think they called the cops to
yeah.
protect those two guys from getting the shit beat out
And
of
they
them.
didn't say a word when they were cutting.
I
those
haven't
fish
been
up.
on Facebook much the last couple of weeks.
Why'd you get in
so-
jail again?
No, I just
Oh, okay.
have my moments. Sometimes it's
Where you
best
just
if I'm just not on
detox.
So if you're going to click on that story, be prepared. Every other story that pops up, the suggested for you
I think
now
I
is
saw
all
something
fish
about that.
stories.
I didn't know what it was about.
it's crazy.
What I saw was something about it looked like they were sinkers that were
Yeah, they're weights. Yeah.
covered in batter, and somebody said something like Lake Erie.
Oh yeah, Lake Erie fish tacos or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's that mean? A pair of scissors or something. I go, what does that mean?
Yeah,
I didn't
one
have
had a
any
pair of
idea.
pliers. One fish, they put a pair of pliers in
Yeah,
the fish.
I mean they had the they had.
But how do they? How is the fisherman tournament going to prove that the fish didn't eat the pliers?
That was. One
I
of the
don't think there was any
Well,
doubt
yeah, I
about
don't
it when
think there was
they
much doubt
cut the fish open and started pulling shit out.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean they literally just sliced the
So
fish.
walleye
and opened
couldn't
it up.
They
pair
had
of
30 pounds of fish, and they couldn't believe that those fish weighed 30 pounds.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you don't hear the story of how they got to that point, but
There is a video out now that
is
shows a little
crazy.
more of the backstory.
oh, does it?
Yeah.
Because you don't see the ones I've seen is all of a sudden he's like,
Cutting into the
"There's
fish.
weights in fish."
Yeah, there is a longer video out there now.
You know,
I saw
then-
one in. I saw something on Facebook not that while back of a kid in Texas. I think they got caught cheating a fishing tournament too. It was like he had taken a fish trap, I think, is the way I understand it, some sort of a fish trap, and put the fish in it. He caught fish, put the fish in it, put a little like bobber on it so he knew where it was at.
Yeah.
And threw it out and put it out in the lake, and then entered the fishing tournament, went over and picked the trap
Pulled
up.
the trap out.
And they knew that somebody knew that he had set the trap, and he pulled the trap out and took the fish out. And they caught him with a deer camera or something weird like that.
That's pretty elaborate.
Yeah.
So there's cheating and everything.
And he was like a young kid. He was like in his teens. I'm like, good Lord.
Well, maybe Kevin Larkin should have thought of that stuff when he was a professional walleye fisherman.
Fishing's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Those guys that catch those big fish, I'm like, how do they do it? And they're like racers. They're like super secretive about all that shit too. Like, what'd you use for bait? Not telling you. Where were you fishing? Not telling you.
But what's crazy is those fishing guides. You know, if you wanted to go fishing like Lake Erie or, someplace. I mean, Clint Llewellyn, a couple racers, Clint Llewellyn and Jamie Sherm, that's what they do. They fish and guide up this place in South Dakota, and they can literally take you to like 4 or 5 spots. You got your limit like in an hour. And it's like, how do these guys know this stuff?
Kevin Larkins used to be on that walleye tour. They would have to go pre-fish the deal for a week. And so I had the idea what we needed to do at Speedway Motors was to get a pool where Kevin was going to finish.
It's kind of like.
And so I'd collect the money from everybody. Then the last person I would go into is Speedy Bill. And I go, Bill, you going to get in the pool? He goes, yeah. I go, okay, what number do you want? He goes, what's the last one picked? I said, oh, somebody picked 100. He goes, I want 101. And needless to say, Bill won more of the pools that he lost by picking the lowest number.
So it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what the rules are.
Everybody's going to break the rules.
What the subject is. These things happen. And because people ask us that stuff, what are you going to do about this? And I think I've said this too to I know I've said this to other people. When I first started IMCA, I'm like, we're going to fix all these problems and everything's just going to continually get better because we've fixed the problems. This year we fixed this one. This year we fixed that one. Many of them yet. And in 4 or 5 years, you've got them all your problems are fixed, right? And things just get better. Well, the problem is the racers recirculate every about 7 years on average. And the problems resurface. So it just starts cycling, So it's when people ask questions, I'm like, no, I can't do that.
They're like bell bottoms and pleated pants, everything that's
old is new.
Holy cow! I've seen some girls in some bell bottoms. They were like,
yeah.
Wow.
You can't do that. It has been done before, for the most part.
Well, that's why Joey Greco would make a good tech guy.
Yeah, he would. What do we got? So we talked about all the national champions.
Two left.
Two left.
Jim's dog interrupted us the last time.
Cujo.
Justin Clark, back-to-back sprint car champion.
Sprint car stuff.
First time in 20 years. Do you know who the last back-to-back sprint car national champion was?
In 20 years?
20 years ago. 2001 and 2002.
Kurt Lund.
Elmer Morgan.
No,
Elmer Morgan.
London.
Elmer
Morgan.
Who thinks I don't pay attention? I know this.
And 3 of the top 4.
Where's he from?
Texas.
That's why.
3
I
of
got
the
an
top
Elmer
4.
Morgan story. You want to hear it?
Go ahead, caller.
Elmer Morgan came to the came to our banquet one of those years, and it was in downtown Des Moines at the time, and he had one of those big dualies, right? And he wanted to park this big dually in the hotel parking area downtown. And it wouldn't fit. And I just remember him being mad because his truck wouldn't fit in the parking area, or they wouldn't let him park it in the parking area. And that's my Elmer Morgan story. I just remember that.
That's when we were at the Marriott. I've got a story that involves Bobby Lincoln, a luggage cart, and a revolving door from the National Banquet.
We've all got National Banquet stories.
Jim, I think you might have walked in.
I'm proud of myself.
Happened.
I guessed that.
You did guess that right. But 3 of the top 4 are past national champions in the sprint cars. Justin Clark won, obviously. Garrett Bard and Marcus Thomas were in the top 4, and they were champions all in the last 5 years. Southern Sport Mod, first-timer, Rodney White. He's the 9th consecutive different Southern Sport Mod national champion. And he did it racing 22 nights.
Which is, again, a testament to our point system. Right. It can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
It can be done when you have racetracks that aren't, we don't have racetracks that are racing 5 nights a week or summer where they have tons of county fairs, and a lot of places aren't like Iowa or Minnesota or Kansas.
Yeah, where you start on Monday and race till next Tuesday.
Do they have county fairs in Texas?
Well, I don't know.
You have more
you
knowledge
would know.
You
about
have more
Texas than
knowledge
we
of
do.
Texas. Yeah.
But it's not like
Yeah,
here.
I
they
think they have more
regional,
like
or are they-
festivals or something. Hang on.
I'd have to
You should ask your
Virginia.
wife.
It's not
You're gonna-
like
you're
it's
gonna
not like
ask
here
as well.
where you have
Hey, Siri,
the Benton
do they
County
have
Fair,
county fairs in
the Buchanan
Texas?
County Fair,
Right. Every county has their own.
the Shelby County, You have all these fairs. But if you go to Texas, most of the racetracks down there, all of them that I think that I know
Are they on
of,
fairgrounds?
they're all privately owned.
Privately
aren't they?
owned.
Are there county fairgrounds in Texas, Jim?
Even the ones that are named like Grayson County Speedway, is that a privately
Yeah, they
owned
have.
property?
Privately
Let's see
owned.
the
Yeah, up here,
Yeah.
most
They're all
Limestone County
fairgrounds.
Fair. They
most
have
of the facilities.
Anything that has
are
county in the
I-
name is typically,
Listen to this. So here in
typically
Texas,
county-owned.
they have the Limestone County Fair, the Jim Hogg County Fair, the Star County Fair, the Zapta County. I mean, they have quite a few county fairs.
There's a big fair in Waco. I don't know
But
if
the
it's
thing
the
of it
Texas
is
State
they're
Fair
like-
or what they call it. It's
and you can go online and you can apply
it's
for
like
a
this
carting
weekend
job.
or some weird thing like that.
Wait,
I
can you
think
send
you
me
found
that
your
link?
calling.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, Jim.
But it's their fairs aren't like our fairs, I guess. In the fact that they don't have races, they have rodeos and concerts and things like that. Waco has a big fair, and I'm gonna get in trouble for not knowing what she calls it. But we went to it many times. It's usually it's going on like right now in Waco. It's like in the next week or two. So when we go down there, my wife's birthday is in a couple of days, and so when we go down there, it's usually right around the fair time. That's how I remember these things.
Yeah, here's
Vanilla-
Fortunate
vanilla
to
The
say.
ice.
Heart
Yeah.
of Texas
Remember.
Fair and Rodeo.
Yeah, Texas county fairs are back and bigger than ever. Blue Ribbon
There you
Photo
go.
Cakes.
Heart
So
of
all of our-
Texas Fair and Rodeo.
That's it. Yeah, it's big. It's really big. I've been there a couple times. They have big, huge rodeo. They have big concerts, Coetzel and people like that.
No vanilla ice like in Iowa.
No vanilla ice. Hey,
No.
did you guys see that Coolio died?
Yeah.
Shut the front
He
door.
went to Gangster
No, and he
Paradise.
did.
I was at
You
his
did?
last
I
concert.
know. When I
and
saw
it
that,
was
I thought
so
of you.
Cool.
Oh, he was at that concert?
He was at
Yeah, he
it
was at that Back to the 90s.
Back to the
concert.
90s.
Oh, that's right. You didn't
Yeah,
know that?
Coolio has died.
He
He's
died
dead.
like
He was
last
59.
week.
Yeah.
59. You didn't hear that, Jim?
Unexpectedly.
They found him dead in his buddy's bathroom in his house or something like
Gee,
that.
what could have
They say
gone
he had a
wrong?
heart-
Way.
Heart attack.
That's what that's
Why is he
Elvis
in the
too.
bathroom having a heart attack.
Coolio and Elvis went the same way on the crapper.
Crazy. He's on the floor.
Well, I mean,
Wow,
they were
I
in
did
the
not
same
know
kind
that.
of
He
room,
ended up
though.
I just read the story. I'm like, no, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, he didn't die. I'm like, oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
did.
he died.
crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor.
He wanted to get down.
Gangster's Paradise. God, man. It's good stuff.
Well, I'm
Did
not
you get your
saying
picture-
it's
Did
not
you get
good.
your picture taken with him?
I did not get
No,
a
he just
Coolio
got his picture with the one-hit wonder, Ice Ice Baby. You know.
Heck yeah.
Not
I mean,
the
at
three-hit
least
wonder.
we know that Coolio had more than one song that you know
I
about.
had like 3.
Exactly.
So what about this weekend? We don't have much going on this weekend, right?
There's really not a ton of racing
This
anywhere.
weekend,
I
this
mean, yeah,
weekend.
we got some stuff on IMCA.
How does that
TV.
happen? How does one weekend have like 50 specials and the next weekend have nothing?
Yeah,
that weird?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like go last weekend and there was races all over the damn place, and next weekend there's races all over the damn place.
And this weekend.
And this weekend we're like,
Well, everybody's got to have a weekend off.
Like
once in a
crickets.
while.
Correct.
But anyhow, so not much going on this weekend for racing. Our national championships have pretty much unofficially been
Right.
decided.
Yeah.
We'll start getting ready for banquet.
Ooh, that's
We'll
right.
start getting ready
That's
for
fun.
trade shows. We do regional trade shows, although some of them have been canceled.
I really wish I could.
Are we
I
going to
wish
do the
I
one in
could
Des
build
Moines?
like some.
Are we going to
like
do the
a
one in Des Moines this year?
Not that I'm aware of. It's too
I-
far to
Oh, okay.
drive.
There's not one of
The-
those in Des Moines anymore.
Was
We'll
there
do-
ever one?
We'll do,
No, there
Years,
wasn't.
long time ago.
Yeah.
we'll do PRI. We always do PRI. I assume PRI is going to be. I'm working on the display actually. As
I saw
that's what
that.
I was doing out there. You're like, what are you doing? I'm putting our PRI display
You
together.
were looking at
It's
this sheet
assembling.
of paper, going,
It has a lot of nuts and bolts.
There's
and
a
I'm
lot
like,
of pieces to that thing.
I'm not that smart. You'd think I'd hire people to do this stuff, and I don't.
That's what
I end up
Ryan.
doing this crap
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, and the-
Carson's here. I mean, it
I
could
mean,
be his- that
IMCA
could be-
handyman, we're screwed if that's the case.
There's a lull in the moment
No,
here
you'd be good
usually
at it.
with work in our office until when
good
it
for a
slows
handy.
down and we try to
Exactly.
Oh God.
So we'll be at PRI.
We do
Hopefully
have
I'll be
the-
at PRI.
We can edit this, right?
Nope. We never edited
No,
him.
no.
As if nothing else offensive or questionable has ever been said
how long
on
have we been going, Nate?
Just a little over an hour.
Or at about
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour?
Probably about an hour.
About 3 minutes too long.
So we're going to get into trade
Really?
show time. We got a handful of more specials coming up. Obviously, then we roll into rules time. You know, and dun dun dun.
Here comes when the rules coming out.
Have you ever thought about a carbon fiber drive shaft?
Have you ever thought that you're ruining an IMCA race in one rule at a time?
Oh yeah, we've been doing that for 20 years.
Now I have a migraine.
But we'll get into rules mode. Dave will collect all his thoughts, I guess is the best way. Dave's been good about, he actually through the season, he writes stuff down, and then our rules meetings are a little bit more on point versus just us sitting in the room and arguing like.
I like how we did it last year. I was not in the room.
It's much more.
I enjoy those.
We try to keep the process efficient, and that can be a challenge at time when Jim and I sit in the same room. And then you bring Dave into the equation, and I can talk all day. Yes, you could, Dave.
Oh boy, I hate that day.
I'm curious.
that week
Because
is-
he
that week just
left
sucks.
Cameron after we got done racing there Friday night. Went to Hayes.
Yeah.
I wonder if
did.
he drove straight through and got there just in time for the drivers' meeting.
I didn't ask him where he stayed, or I didn't ask him.
I'm sure he
I know he
stayed
went to
in-
both.
Cameron, and then
Yeah, more than likely.
Well, if Brett would have been there, the drivers' meeting never would have ended, so he would have made it plenty of time.
woke
That
up
joke's
early
getting-
Saturday, 1-ish,
That
2,
joke's getting
and
old,
got
Ryan.
on the road.
That joke is as old as him destroying the
That
first
was back.
sport.
That was back when we sanctioned the duel. We don't sanction it no more. So
You speak at other drivers' meetings, don't you? Do you speak
a
at
little bit
both?
of Boone. I was playing music
That
this
deal's
year.
still a thing.
What? You had music playing? What kind of music?
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, that's right, you did the
Morning,
mo-
Vietnam.
Yeah, I missed that. Thank goodness.
You were asleep.
Upon a request.
Nah, I think
Really?
it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
You did that every morning, didn't you?
I did a handful of mornings.
You
just
should
'cause
do it every morning.
I found it entertaining for my own personal. I'm sure there's people that are in their hollers pissed off that was going on.
I did get a text one morning,
Tell
and
Brett.
it said, "Would you tell him to shut the f up? We went to bed 2 hours ago." And I
Whose
said,
fault's that?
I said, "That's not his fault. He likes to talk."
Oh, you're the oh,
Yeah,
boy.
wow.
Did you just say
Pot
that?
meat kettle.
Well, I mean,
There you go.
hey,
No, no,
hey,
no,
I
no,
can
no.
talk to him the way he can talk to me.
Okay, to be fair, Jerry is right. Brett does like to talk, but Jerry likes to hear himself talk. So
No,
there's a
I
big,
actually hate
there's
to
a big
listen to
difference
myself.
there.
There's a difference. I actually have people thank me for trying to keep everything organized and on point. And they, we get it every year. People say you guys should invite all your promoters here, and you guys should, it's like, well, we do.
We do.
You guys should do this. Well, we do that. And we try to use the Supernationals as a
Learning
little
point.
Yeah. We try to
Okay.
make smart decisions and have people kind of see how we adapt when we have to adapt, but we can do things at Supernationals that people just can't do. I mean, there's not a lot of racetracks where it can rain for 8 hours and it stops and the racetrack's ready to go in
Get
2
the
hours.
jet dryer out.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're very fortunate with what has been built at Boone Speedway. Built at Boone Speedway meaning the facility itself and the equipment that they have and the staff they have.
Yeah, the people is what does it.
Ain't no doubt. That's a big part of it. I sure shit don't want to get on that jet dryer. Whew. If Rod ever decides not to get on the jet dryer, guess who's up next, Jerry?
I'll do it. I don't care.
I'm nominating you.
Rod just got to show me how to run that.
You just
son of a
can't screw it up.
Yeah,
I
Brett
second
can't
it.
get on
Well,
her,
now-
otherwise it'll
now
end up
you
in the
throw-
wall.
now you throw these-
Well,
Is that
no,
joke
not
getting
ne-
old too?
Not
I mean, I don't know.
necessarily
I've run
because
out of
he's not
material.
driving the tractor. Because
Oh, okay.
if
Put him in
it
the tractor.
was me on the jet dryer and you in the tractor, no, we are done because there's a wall.
I got you on the jet dryer. That'd be a battle of hot air, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Who would make the most noise?
We'd save on fuel.
Yeah. If it could only run on, if
You
it was
and
only
your little doggy
if
too.
it was only voice activated. We're just gonna put Jerry out on the trailer with his mouth at the ground.
We take that 3-hour prep time down to about 20 minutes.
Holy cow!
have
It
to
only
have
took
the-
20 minutes to prep the track.
We'd have to have the water truck behind Jerry.
Oh shit! But anyhow, rules. So we're gonna get into rules stuff here in the next month. We'll try to release our rules sometime after USRA just for fun. Is that right, Jim?
I don't think that's possible.
Before or after?
We try to do it after just for fun.
Hey,
I don't think that would
just
be
out of
possible.
just out of curiosity, did you race the Supernationals?
Did I race the
Yeah.
Supernationals? I've never raced at the Supernationals.
Okay, just curious.
I owned a car there once.
You did?
I did.
Well, yeah, Carl Frederickson was your driver, but you didn't drive in it, right?
No.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Some places you can.
Can I do that? Could I get in trouble if I did that? Do you think the
If what
racers
hap-
would like
if
think
what
that's
happened?
cool or not? If I,
They'd
if,
like to
let's
kick
just say,
your ass, I'm sure.
let's just say I race the Supernationals. Do you think the racer would think that's cool or not?
Oh, they would think you're a man of the people.
FUBU, for us, by us, kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I would get dressed up as
They're,
like
they're
Elvis.
hard to stop eating.
Yeah,
Just give you the
once
thumbs
start-
up.
Hey, get the cheese over
Here,
here too.
here's the dip. I don't double dip. Do you double dip? Are you guys double
I
dip?
double dip
Never.
if I'm the only one eating it.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, double dipping's gross.
That's good. I wish I got the bean dip though.
But yeah, I always wonder, do racers think it's cool if the because we have these situations, and I'm not trying to I'm not going to knock on.
I mean, you take a guy like John Webb,
You
who
have promoters
races,
who race.
and he's a promoter.
You have promoters whose children that race. You have promoters who own race cars. You have most all of us in the industry, generally speaking, promoters, tech officials, staff that work at racetracks. We all come from somewhere, and most of the time we had some sort of a affiliation with racing. You know, with a race car, we got involved somehow. I mean, most people don't just come right out of town and go out to the racetrack and start working. Most of them have been race fans or on crews or owned race cars or race themselves. Most of our real good tech guys are former racers. So, you have all those attachments, but I don't know if people would think it was cool if I was racing the Supernationals. I'd probably get my shit tore up. Is probably what would happen.
Probably
If
would.
they listen, if
I
they
mean,
listen to the
it'd be of your own
podcast, they
doing.
probably wouldn't worry too much.
Put a big bullseye on the back of it.
Yeah, if they've listened to like episode 2 through 17, they would have nothing to worry about because they would know that they would just stay out of your way.
Unless they were the wall.
Because you could, unless they were a wall.
You make either a good meme or a good TikTok video, and that's about it.
My nickname would be the water spider.
Water spider?
Yeah. You ever seen a water spider on water?
Yeah, it goes right across the top of the water.
They just go like this.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They go.
Well, yeah.
You never had a nickname when you raced, did you?
No, I nickname myself the water spider.
Yeah, he had some nicknames.
So when I am all over the racetrack, nobody would be surprised.
Brett the Hitman.
The hitman.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't fit me very well.
Oh, look at
Ooh,
this.
speaking of hit, there's that.
Oh,
People still talk
That would
about
be
that
me
hobby
right
stock
there.
wreck.
That
Well,
would
yeah,
be
because there's a
me right
wall.
there.
There's a wall.
here I am.
involved.
Minus the leading the race part, I mean, that would just mean.
Well, if
that would be
okay,
me.
so if we had to
That
put
would be
you in
me,
that
like,
situation, you would be.
7th, 8th, and 9th of the heat race. That
Now,
would be me.
if
I'd
we
be in
would've-
7th, and 8th and 9th would be like, get his ass.
So if we would put this in perspective, and you were the T8, you would be getting lapped the third time.
I could.
That's
be
why
getting
you'd be out front.
Hey,
Go ahead, caller.
aren't you funny? Probably the most, getting lapped is not fun. Probably the most depressing moment I ever had racing was when I got lapped. I got lapped once. And
Did you get to see the layover flag, or were they going
It's
fast
just
enough that they didn't have to show it to you?
such a, to me personally, I mean, the experience to me, and I'm sure other racers have to feel this way. When you get raced, you get lapped, you're just like, why the hell am I out here?
The flagman just yelled down to him, "Move over! They're
You know,
coming
and unless-
behind you."
Yeah.
They whispered it to you, right?
I mean, again, that would be like something I'd
Run
want to
alongside of 'em.
ask racers in the room. One of those questions. Hey, if you get lapped, what goes through your mind? Is it like, oh shit, I missed the setup, or is it, oh shit, get out of the racetrack, or is it, oh, let's get out of the way?
It depends who it is.
It's weird,
Some guys are used to it, others it doesn't happen.
because at
as often.
Supernationals, when you have 250 race cars, all whittled down to 33 or 30. And they're out on a racetrack. It's a big bunch of cars, so they can get spread out quite quickly. And then if you go green a lot, see, it's not nobody out there slow, in my opinion. And you see guys get lapped in the feature, and sometimes they pull off, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can tell they're like, oh shit, I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to burn up my tires. But
Yeah.
I always wonder what goes through a racer's mind when that happens, because I know what went through my mind when it would happen. It's just like, what the hell just happened? I just got lapped. How embarrassing is that?
What's worse, getting lapped in a sport mod race or a triathlon?
Oh, you don't have any idea.
Do you ever? Yeah, can a guy get lapped in a triathlon? I mean, or is it like a straight run or a straight bike?
You meaning to double deuce. He'll
Okay.
go by you
We're
again
going to
and
end
leave
this
you.
podcast with a triathlon story because I got the answer for that. Because the run portion of Waco's triathlon, the first year I did it, was 2 laps. So you run it once and you it's just people everywhere. There's people ahead of you, people behind you. You don't know if they're ahead of you. You don't know if they're behind you. In a triathlon, they write your age on your calf, on your right calf on permanent marker. They put your age on your calf. So when you're running, you can look down and see if somebody passes you and they got a 19 on their calf. It's like
passed by 75.
big deal. Yeah, when somebody passes you and they have a 70 on their calf, you're like, what the hell just happened? So I'm running, right?
Then were you looking? Oh, Jim, where are you going?
I'm not passing the first one. I'm running right, and there's a gal running, and she's got the same age on her calf as I have on mine. So I'm like, oh, she's my age, and I'm thinking, oh, we're running right, and I'm on the first lap, right, and so we're running along, and I just she said something, and I said something to her, and we're not. I caught her, so I felt proud about that because I don't pass many people on running. But then we came to the point to where you're the end of the first lap, and the people who are at the end of their second lap, they go straight and veer off and hit the bridge and go over and finish. And the people who are still on the end of the first lap, they just keep running like a bunch of slow losers. And so I'm proud of myself. I catch her. I'm like, yeah, I finally caught somebody. She's my age. It's a girl. Ha!
She took
and then
off.
she
She
turns
veered
off
off.
to finish. And I'm like, I still have 2 hours of running. What the hell just happened?
Got your ass whooped
So
by a girl.
that was my lapped moment in a triathlon. I was lapping, and it really wasn't lapping anything or anybody, including the girl that was my age. But I weighed more than
Fascinating.
she did. That was my.
Well, you'll have that these are bigger events.
I can't wait for
Yeah.
not next week, the week after. We'll have the triathlon update.
Yes,
I'll probably be wearing a diaper.
Well, I probably ought to wrap it up.
23?
23's next week. Next time.
It's a great
We're not
basketball.
doing it.
No, we're probably not. Man, next week, Mike.
I'm gone. I won't be
You're
around next
gone. We got to take off Tuesday to go to.
I've got to train.
You've got to train to catch.
Triathlon.
You're the
Time to
trainer
train.
coming. It's passed out again.
No, 23. That's a
Ain't
good
run
number.
Triathlon.
Be like a great basketball number.
Yeah,
Jordan.
that's when NBA
Best ever.
basketball was awesome.
It's debatable, but
I think
You're
we
a
need to
LeBron
send a
fan.
film crew to document the triathlon.
I'm telling you, we could leave
Not happening.
Batesville at
We
the
know
end of the
people.
races, and we could go to Waco.
not happening.
Don't tell us what we can and cannot
Enough
do.
people will see this podcast. They may send their own. film
Yeah,
crews.
people may come out and see you.
No, they won't.
That's right.
Might have
Nobody
fans.
cares.
Yeah, go Brett!
That will never happen.
Now they have like
Even
a
my
my
wife
race
says
pass.
it takes you forever to ride your bike. I have to go downtown and go shopping because it takes like 3 hours and 3+ hours just to ride the bike ride portion.
If
of it.
I've gone on a bike ride, a pedal bike for 3 hours, I've made 7 bar stops
Yeah,
and
Just think.
lunch.
I'll be south of you in Austin, and when your triathlon starts, I'll be home by the time you get out of the. What do you do
you
first?
could probably
Swim.
you could probably almost
Swim. I'll be home
walk.
by the time you get out of the
You
water.
could probably almost walk. to
Whatever you
Omaha
do,
as
if you get
fast
in
as
the
it
water,
take me to do
don't
the
put any
triathlon.
weights in you because you can you get disqualified for weights.
You can get
In a
there's all kinds of
triathlon?
weird rules. You can't wear earbuds. You can't carry a cell phone. There's all kinds of things you can't do in triathlons. Yes, they have a very extensive
Wow.
rule book, athlete briefings where it's like drivers' meetings. And I love doing this. I love going to this stuff because I just like listen to what they say for their sport and how we have meetings like this for our sport. I mean, I enjoy those aspects of the race probably as much as everything else to see the logistics of how it's all set up, and they have an athlete village where it's like our manufacturers row.
Mm-hmm.
They just do a bunch of cool stuff.
So their guy that does a driver's meeting, does he do it for 2 hours like in this monotone, subdued voice all day?
They have like
Does he repeat
it's called
himself
an
over and over?
athlete briefing, and they do like 6
brief?
of them.
That's what we should call them. Athlete briefing.
Yeah.
They do like 6 of
Welcome
them.
to the driver's briefing.
Drivers briefing.
The driver's briefing. Yeah. But anyhow. So 23rd episode in a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks. Let's go. Yeah,
Hopefully
we'll
I'll
take
be
next
alive.
week off. Yeah, hopefully you make
Hopefully
it.
we all will be
There's
alive.
no
I think
gator,
everybody
there's no
needs a-
gators or any like big like piranhas in this lake that you got to swim in, is there?
There's alligator gar. You know what alligator gar
Oh yeah,
is?
they're a big fish. Looks like alligator.
They can get like this big. They get much bigger than walleyes filled full of sinkers.
You ever had one nip at your sinker?
No.
Oh.
No.
Can you imagine if you got bit by a fish? Like an alligator.
I mean, could you imagine doing a triathlon? Because some of them do these in open water swims in the ocean.
Like a
in
shark?
Yeah, where you actually take up off the beach and swim like 2 miles out or down the coast and back in. No way.
No way.
I would
It's
never
called
do
motivation.
that. Yeah, that ain't no joke.
Motivation.
I'd be the lucky guy the shark ate.
They'd probably spit you back out.
Nah.
I'd be like, ugh. That's what I'd say. Replay pass. That's what you can do this weekend. You can buy a
could.
replay pass and watch 30 days of IMCA racing.
There's a lot of it on there.
Can you throw the schedule up there? We need to see what's going on the next couple weeks since we're going to be. So we got, yep. So there is stuff to watch on IMCA TV this weekend.
We got the Touring Outlaw Modified Series.
Yep.
I love saying that on IMCA TV.
I know it.
And we go
A
to
division of IMCA.
so all kinds of great stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. Check it out, imca.tv.
TV.
Not imcatv.com.
No,
I think
it's not.
people
that.
have that.
I just like to
Is that
say
common?
IMCA TV.
Yeah,
Everybody
people think
knows.
imca.tv.com. It's not. It's just imca.tv.
Because there is no .com for that. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's go get some lunch, some dinner. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our triathlon talk.
Double deuce.
Double deuce. Yes, remember, 23 next time.
23 episodes.
23.
And we're hoping to be joined by Brett on our next
Yeah,
podcast.
I hope you make it back.
No promises, but we're hoping.
The
Hoping
23rd
Brett's
episode to talk about the 2023 rules. We can talk about rules next time. We're going to be getting into rules.
It might be close to be talking about all those massive rule changes that will cost
God,
so
don't
much,
say that.
everybody so much money.
God, don't say that.
Yeah. Just whatever it says in 22, just put 23 on top and let it go.
It seems to work the best.
That's what I say. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure if you want to get that replay pass, check in some great IMCA racing. Get it live. 30 days. Get you everything you got. You can go back and watch Supernationals. You can go back and watch all kinds of great stuff. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you back.
And
for
you
20
can mute the sound in case Jerry's on one of the races.
Yeah, you can. There is a mute button. So good night, everybody.